Would you like to fight Tank?
I would love to fight Tank. I think me and Tank is...
Hey, you got Abner?
How you doing, man?
He was supposed to fight Tank.
Yeah. Nah, I think that me and Tank is like two special talents, and I feel like we ain't gonna have no choice but to fight. I feel like we...
Shay, man, look, man. Your beef is not with Floyd Mayweather. You sitting here beefing with Floyd. It's a fighter out here that's been calling your name.
Yeah, boxing.
Yeah.
Me and Tank the biggest fight.
That's the one.
It's the biggest fight in the world.
Yeah.
Like, it's going...
Gervonta Tank Davis, let's make the fight happen, man. I'm tired of tweeting. I'm tired of talking about it. Stop ducking me and let's make the fight happen, man. Come on.
Would you like to fight Tank? I would love to fight Tank. I think me and Tank, hey you got Oprah, and even though Shakur versus Tank fight is scheduled for summer 2024, Tank isn't entirely sold on the idea. For quite a while now this fight has been viewed as a throwaway, even by Tank himself. How you doing? He was supposed to fight Tank, yeah now. I think that me and Tank is like two special talents. And I feel like we ain't going to have no choice. But the fight, I feel like we're just recently Tank revealed the reasons why he would never accept to get into the ring with Shakur. Well, let's update you on each. And their continuing battle of words. Say, man, look, man, your beef is not with Floyd Mayweather, you sitting here beefing with Floyd. It's a fighter out here that's been calling your name that want to fight. We all agree that Gervonta Tank Davis is one of boxing's most electrifying figures. He has recently been making headlines not for his victories in the ring, but for his outspoken refusal to entertain a fight offer from Shakur Stevenson. Boxing me. And Tank the fight, the one, it's the biggest fight in the world, like it's going to be the biggest boxing fight in the world. When it happens, however, even with that, fans and everyone around the sport have been clamoring for a bout between these two prodigious talents, each of whom holds an impressive record and a collection of titles despite the public demand and potential financial windfall. Such a fight could bring. Davis has made it clear that a showdown with Stevenson is not in his plans. All you Gervonta Tank Davis, let's make the fight happen, man. I'm tired of tweeting. I'm tired of talking about it. Stop ducking me. And let's make the fight happen, man. Come on. One of the primary reasons Davis has given for avoiding a fight with Stevenson revolves around strategic career management. Boxing careers, especially at the elite level, are carefully planned. Fighters often take calculated risks to ensure they maximize their earnings and longevity in the sport. Davis, with Leonard Ellerby on his back, is undoubtedly receiving advice from one of the smartest minds in boxing. Haven't I been saying all on? You guys have not seen what a terrific boxer Tank is. And that's what I'm saying. What's the one thing, something else I've been saying? He's a complete fighter, And that's in interviews. Davis has alluded to the importance of making smart decisions for his career. He has said every fight has to make sense, not just for the fans, but for me and my team. I'm not going to rush into something just because people are talking about it at 130 or 135. Wherever we meet, I feel like just when the fans demand a fight at the end day. I feel like we both. Another reason Davis is hesitant to fight Stevenson is the risk factor. Shakur Stevenson is known for his technical expertise and defensive skills. Taking on Stevenson represents a high-risk, high-reward scenario, and Davis might not see the need to take such a risk at this point in his career. He the best at he didn't even fight at 135 yet, right? He didn't he have power at 126.30, or none of that feels good. Davis has been quoted saying, I've worked hard to get to where I am, and I'm not going to throw it all away in a risky fight that doesn't make sense right now. I have my own path to follow. This sentiment underscores Davis's focus on maintaining his winning streak and championship status without unnecessary risks. Some of your 135 contemporaries have a lot to say these days. Sure, Stevenson, of course, he's now 135 after all that stuff. And then Devin Haney writes, so why people even talk like also boxing politics and promotional affiliations often complicate the arrangement of big fights. Currently, Davis is promoted by PBC, while Stevenson is associated with Top Rank. These different promotional outfits have a history of complicated negotiations, and getting them to agree on terms can be a daunting task. It could play out like the Crawford scenario, where you know it's unfortunate the two promoters can't come to a deal, and they'll basically try to make you sign over there in order to get the fight. Even Leonard Ellerbe, the former CEO of Mayweather Promotions, and the voice behind Tank, has echoed this sentiment, saying we are going to do what's best for Gervonta and his career. The big fights will come, but it's all about timing. This indicates that the promotional dynamics play a significant role in Davis's decision-making process. Now, first of all, Shakur didn't forget necessarily what he said. Shakur have always given credit where credit is due. All Shakur is saying if Tank Belly Davis is also currently focused on his immediate objectives, and the fighters he is scheduled to face constantly being asked about Stevenson can be distracting and might undermine the significance of his current and upcoming fights. He has emphasized the importance of giving his full attention to his next opponent, ensuring that he remains at the top of his game. That I think that could be that would be Devin, that would be Shakur and Tank Davis himself. Yeah, right, you got the last one right. That's the only person that can beat me, Gervonta Davis. That's the only personas cannot touch me. During a press conference after Frank Martin Davis expressed his frustration, saying, I'm not going to keep talking about Shakur. You all always mention Shakur. I'm here to talk about my fight. But it doesn't end without mentioning the timing factor. Timing is crucial in boxing. Fighters often build up to mega fights, ensuring that both participants are at the peak of their popularity and skills, thus maximizing revenue and viewership. I think that we have superior skills and real talent, and whether he want to admit it or not, I know that that's the right. Davis believes that the timing for a fight with Stevenson isn't right yet. Building anticipation can often lead to a more lucrative and high-profile bout in the future. Davis has mentioned the fight will happen when it makes sense for both of us. Right now, I have other plans and other fighters to focus on. His word suggests that while Davis is not completely shutting the door on a fight with Stevenson, he believes it should happen when the timing is perfect for both fighters' careers. You fighters is ducking him. Fighters is ducking me, so we end up fighting each other. So I understood what he meant, but truthfully, not cool. How about when? And while Tank seeks to buy more time to bring more attention to the fight, he is still doing what he is best at, getting into his opponent's mind before the fight. And yes, it has always made sense, since boxing is as much about psychological warfare as it is about physical expertise. Davis has not shied away from expressing his disdain for Stevenson's camp, often engaging in trash talk that has added fuel to the fire. How can you all that is okay? How in an interview Davis threw shade at Stevenson, saying Shakur talks a lot, but talking doesn't win fights. I've been in the ring with the best and proving myself. He still has a lot to prove before he gets a shot at me. It is this kind of trash talk that not only stirs the pot, but also sets the stage for an eventual showdown. Perhaps when it is most lucrative. Professional fighter, yes, it's good. You know what I mean, it's good. But not really. But in speaking of lucrative, there has always been an issue of financial gains facing Shakur. While Davis acknowledges the potential low financial rewards of a fight with Stevenson, he also recognizes that it's not just about the money. A loss to Stevenson could significantly impact his marketability and future earnings. Therefore, he is cautious about taking such a fight without ensuring that all conditions are favorable. Like I said before, he was like downtown. Like, I don't really give him no props for it. But I mean, he tried to pull a me on me. So what's he pull a me on me? I answer Davis has said he doesn't bring anything to the table. It's a win if he fights someone like me. But what am I going to get from there? Just a low reward and a cheap knockout. I could use the energy somewhere else. Every fight has to be worth it. And right now there are other fights that make more sense for me, which he could be referring to LMA, a fight that is still in the talks as the Shakur one in Shakur. And LMA, the fight sucks. It's going to be slow. This is the best fight in terms of fanfare to watch him on amongst those guys. All this does make sense. We as fans often clamor for high-profile fights without fully understanding the complexities involved in making them happen. While a Davis-Stevenson fight is highly anticipated, there are numerous logistical, promotional, and personal factors at play that fans might not be aware of. Can you stop people that can actually hit no matter all that boxing you going to get hit? But like you guessed, all this talk would not go empty without a bit of an addition from Shakur himself. Both Tank and Stevenson recently engaged in a heated exchange on social media, further fueling the growing anticipation among fans for a potential showdown between them. This verbal sparring session began when Davis took offense at an interviewer's suggestion that both Devin Haney and Stevenson would defeat him. Shakur Stevenson has already moved up to the 135 pounds division and didn't hold back in his response to Tank's comments to be the one to be able to reach out to make it even where you can reach out to him and have the same power that he has. I don't know, I gotta keep doing what I'm doing. Maybe. Stevenson pointed out that Davis's recent trash talk coincides with Tank having won his recent fights against Garcia and Martin. This timing, according to Stevenson, conveniently allows Davis to boast without having to immediately back up his words in the ring. Shakur did not mince words, claiming that Davis is too little and asserting confidently